broadcast going over here.
All right, so we are live. So let's see if I can do this. 'Cause I gotta first let me get the
Angel Pecan Pie.
Oh, this is a game against Caitlin too. So this is a game where like, you had to have seen the highlights, dude. She was bad. Like she was brick city. And Angel, dude, that meme of Angel laughing what's her name laughing behind her was just
the ultimate.
Ultimate. But anyway, all right, let me see if I could do this. By the way, shout out to everybody who's joined us. Like, subscribe, follow, share, do all those free fun things for you as we do something fun here to start the show. Because if I could do it a little better this time than I did the last time, it's going to be better for all of us.
Going to be good times. Good times.
Good
well,
times,
he skipped the ad already, so we're already ahead there.
So let's see if we could do this now.
4:33! Let's get it! Burn! She's got the yips on wide open layups! Burn! On national TV, Angel Reese did not disappoint the Chuck and Duck. Burn! It's Angel's Island, party of one, nobody around. Burn! Oh, not the crisscross applesauce into the spinaroo. Flippity-doo! Burn! When the whole country's watching, of course we're getting the patented pray up into a me complain. Bang! You a professional basketball player and continuously gallop around like a horsey. Bang! Bang!
Oh, we're missing the OG brick a 2-footer and then fall to the ground. Oh, wait, there it is!
Bang!
If only she spent more time working on her shot than at the salon.
Pecan butter pecan! Bang! Joe Reese clutch Gene for the win! Bang!
Angel Reese clutch.
Well,
G
welcome,
for the
everybody.
win. Bang!
Hell of a way to start the show. Shout out to Stat Stuffer
What up,
on
Carl
YouTube.
Sr.?
Shout out to Stat Stuffer on YouTube who puts out those videos after every single Angel Reese game. Everyone. Now, occasionally he does give her props if she trains one or something.
Oh,
but
yeah,
like,
I know.
But at the same time, like, dude, he's a genius. And what he did and what he's done, that is just an homage to that man and what he does. So shout out to him. All credit goes out to Stat Stuffer on that. But dude, those videos make me laugh
so much.
So hard.
So much. And I am telling you, we've got to see if we can get him on. We really do. See if we can get him to call in. Or even if we can hop on it, like, right? Like,
but dude, tell me that's just not a great way to start the show. It just brings some energy. It brings a little laughter. And even if you only get the audio, it's still great. I don't care. It's still great.
I mean, if you've ever watched Angel Reese play, you don't have to really watch the video to kind of picture in your head what's happening when he gives you the highlights. Or, well, highlights in quotations, I guess we would call them. But just, I said it to you last week. I still cannot understand. I didn't understand it when we went into the draft, when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were coming up. I still don't understand why people thought it was a debate on who should be taken first. Like, I really I still don't get it. And as their careers have unfolded, there's really no, like, Indiana got it right? But
at the same time, I should say Angel Reese already been traded, so she's on a different team.
Yeah.
But Atlanta Dream is actually they're very good this year. Like, both of these teams are fighting for to get towards the top of the league. Like, they're both playing really well, which is the amazing part because Caitlin Clark's doing it in a completely different way than Angel Reese is doing it. Which it's interesting for sure.
Well, I think the Angel Reese appeal, right, more than anything else, is connected to the defense. Like, she can play some good defense. She's tall, she's long, right? She can play some good defense.
And she can rebound.
Right?
Yeah, a lot of me-bounds.
A lot of me-bounds.
But she can rebound the hell out of the ball. Give the girl that. Yeah. Like, she or the woman that. She is a double-double machine, like she says. Now, sometimes those double-doubles are missed shots or turnover or other things, but she is a double-double machine, for what it's worth. So, I'm not going to sit here and say she's absolute crap, but at the same point, it's what Caitlin Clark is doing in such limited minutes. I think she's averaging like over 26 points a game in like less than 30 minutes a game. And what she's doing with it, with assists and everything else, like she's when the Fever are running the hottest, the ball is running through Caitlin's hands.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to is Kelsey Mitchell's at her best when Caitlin's at her best. Aaliyah Boston's at her best when Caitlin's at her best. Sophie is at her best when Caitlin's at, like, they're all.
What do they say makes what makes the difference between a really good player and a great player?
The ability to lift everybody up around.
Exactly.
And that's what it seems like Caitlin's able to do. And not that Kelsey Mitchell wasn't a great player before, not that Sophie wasn't not that they weren't good players before, but the way that they've been able to come together and the way it seems like Caitlin's been able to elevate them, even with limited minutes, even with, spending some time on the injured list and whatnot with some back issues, what she's able to do leading this Fever team, I think they're going to be scary come playoff time. They're going to be a dangerous out and a team that, the Aces aren't going to want to play, the Liberty aren't going to want to play. They're not going to want to be there.
I'm sorry, not to go back to Angel Reese, but I just clicked on this article because the title of the article on ESPN is "The Secret to Angel Reese's Rebounding."
The me-bound? The me-bound is the key to the rebound because if you're just constantly grabbing your own shots because you're 2 feet away from the basket. I mean, come on now. Like, how many games have we seen 5, 6, 7 me-bounds? I mean, I've seen 2 or 3 in one play. It's... Oof. Granted, she's a great rebounder,
while
but
Caitlin Clark fills highlight shows with her logo threes and Olivia Miles cuts mixtapes with her flashy passes, Reese amasses rebounds. Part Dennis Rodman's analytical brain and part Charles Barkley's persistence.
I'll tell you what. You know what? I'm going to give this article credit because it gave me a comparison I hadn't thought about before because I gave you the Bird Magic comparison with them. But the more it's playing out, it almost seems like Bird Rodman, not Bird Magic. And that's where I'm wondering, like, it's that Rodman comparison to me is almost fair because of how bad Rodman was on the offensive end.
So bad.
He was terrible.
So bad.
Occasional dunks here and there, like occasional lobs.
Oh yeah, or little tap-ins.
Yeah, but like
every now and then.
But he wasn't trusted to shoot. He wasn't trusted with the ball in his hands late in the game. He was not that guy. He was the guy on defense. He was the guy getting you a rebound. He was the guy doing those tough things. So I'll say, I'm going to give this article credit. I think that's a really great and fair comparison to have Angel Reese compared to Rodman right now because of the styles of their game.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
What I would be...
Because again, Rodman was great, but he wasn't...
But he also wasn't rebounding his own shots because he knew he couldn't score. What I'd be very curious to see, right? They're talking about, she hit 1,000 career rebounds 10 games faster than the previous record holder. She's projected to set the WNBA record for most career rebounds if she's able to stay healthy. But my question is, if we subtract the me-bounds and only look at rebounds, is she really setting records? Is she even coming close to records? Honestly.
She ain't breaking the record.
I mean, I think it's a fair question. And look, I know you don't have the time in your life to do that math. I don't have the time in my life to do that math.
I might message that guy Stat Stuffer and see if he maybe has been keeping a tally of all the me-bounds he's screamed out this year.
I mean...
I think it's worth asking. I might shoot him a message and just be like, hey, by any chance, do you keep track of the amount of me-bounds?
Is he on, like, Twitter, or is he just at...
No, I think he's on Twitter, too, because I've seen the videos elsewhere. Like, I've seen him on Twitter. I've seen the Reels. I've seen it. So I know he's on Instagram. I think he posted all over the socials. I'll bet you he's on TikTok, too. I'm just not on there enough. Shout out to our TikTok, though. Go to that, @ChampsCast.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, follow, subscribe, share. Do it on all those... do it on all the platforms. Do it on Facebook. Do it on X. Do it everywhere. Just like and subscribe and
we'd
follow and share.
we'd
YouTube.
have to do a little.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a deep dive.
Do a little.
But either way,
to figure
I
out
agree
who
with
he
you
is.
that she doesn't set the record without the me bounce.
I just don't see how it's even possible. Like I genuinely do not see how that's possible because it's when you see the highlights, like especially with what he shares, like the man's fair, right? He does show clips where she makes a layup or she makes her three or gets a block, right? Like he's not like completely just I'm going to cut this to only making Angel Reese look completely bad. But I mean,
but butter pecan bang,
right? Like it's bad. Like and you know you mentioned it before we got started, right? And you know, kind of going back to the whole Clark Reese comparison. It's just, I mean, when you watch just the other night, like you said it, right? Like looking at how that game went and just the impact that Clark was able to have on the outcome of that game compared to Reese's ability to have an outcome on that game, they're just not even in the same room. Like I don't put them in the same class of player. And the fact that, look, I will give them props for the comparison of a Dennis Rodman, but Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer for what he was able to do.
I'll be honest though, if even with the me bounds, if she stays on the trajectory she's on, she's going to end up being there too. And that's fair comparison.
I mean,
I'm going to sit here and be fair.
You're setting records. That,
it's like Caitlin. She's setting triple-double records. She's setting scoring records. She's setting also. She's eventually more than likely going to be there. And I feel the same about Angel Reese. As much as I much prefer, if I'm picking teams, to pick Caitlin over Angel right now, I have to be honest with myself. She is on a Hall of Fame trajectory with the amount of rebounds she's getting.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that her team this year is getting better, they seem to be in contention. Caitlin's in contention.
Oh, yeah.
I think what's really going to ultimately decide Hall of Fame worthy and all of that is can she turn it into like a championship? Can she win a couple, at least one or maybe a couple WNBA titles? And then maybe I would look at it and say, all right, well, that plus the rebounds, is she rebounding queen, even though it's the me-bound queen? The me-bound queen would probably get in. I'm going to be honest. I gotta be honest with myself. She's probably a future Hall of Famer. And it's early to say, and I know I'm putting a lot on the line because she can get hurt tomorrow and it could all be over. But I'm telling you right now, if it stays the course, she's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and health is always going to be a key factor for anybody's potential Hall of Fame, qualifications. And looking at the standings, Indiana and Atlanta are separated by a game and a half.
That's it,
right?
baby.
Like, and that's a pretty big deal. Which also means if all unfolded and it finished in this way, right? You're looking at the only way that they would play each other in the playoffs would be the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Mm-hmm. So that's talking about creating a Hall of Fame type of resume and legacy, like that matchup with somebody you came into the league with and somebody you went up against in college. And Angel Reese was the one that had the accolades in college when it came down to championships. Caitlin Clark never got there. She never got out of the Final Four. That's the farthest she ever made. I mean, remember her senior year? We talked about it.
Yeah.
And we talked.
And that was when Angel Reese walked around, was giving her the "You Can't See Me," and that's when the hype was building more around Angel, and people were questioning Caitlin. But I mean, it's coming in the league. You could just the eye test tells you.
Oh yeah, you don't have. And if you were a WNBA GM, and I asked you between the two of them, who would you choose to start your team with? If you told me Angel Reese, I would tell you that you'll probably be out of a job in a couple years, right? Like if your two choices to start your franchise, like. Again, Angel Reese is a very good defender. She's very good on the boards. She's not somebody that's going to take over a game offensively. And she's not somebody that you sit there and watch and says she makes her teammates better. You watch Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark can take over a game on the offensive side of the ball. Not the same level of defender that Angel Reese is, but she can make her teammates better. She can put her teammates in positions to be successful with her passing ability. I'm starting, and also, right, when you look at the league and you look at the game of basketball as a whole, if you get your point guard right, you can pretty much figure everything else out, right? If the guy or the woman that handles the ball the most, it's the same as looking at the NFL and the quarterback, the person that touches the ball the most. That's your point guard in basketball. It doesn't matter, women or men.
Yep.
Doesn't freaking matter, right? So I'm going Caitlin Clark 10 out of 10 times if I'm starting a franchise as well. Now, if you told me I could have both of them on my team, I wouldn't be mad about that, right? Because Caitlin Clark's not going to make 100% of her shots, and I need somebody to clean those up, right? I need somebody, Caitlin Clark may not be the greatest defender. I need somebody to protect the rim if her person gets around her. So I don't want this to ever come across like we're just trying to tear Angel Reese down. These videos are funny as hell.
Oh, absolutely.
And the people that put Angel Reese on a pedestal need to understand that she probably doesn't really belong on that pedestal. She'd catch herself if she fell off that pedestal, but she probably doesn't belong on that pedestal. She just doesn't. There's a lot of other women in this league that are better than her at the game of basketball. That's the reality.
Oh, it's true, but I can't wait for the playoffs. And this guy's videos during the playoffs.
Oh God, yeah,
they're going to be epic.
They're both set to make it. Like,
yeah,
you're not in a position where you're like, hey, it's one or the other.
No, both teams are getting better and better, stronger and stronger. Both teams are going to be trouble in the playoffs. So, I mean, they're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. But yeah, tomorrow, or was that Saturday? The Liberty and the Fever.
Liberty and Fever, August 22nd. So yeah, I think that's Saturday.
So it's either Saturday or Sunday.
The New York won their first. And New York won the championship last year too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching them pull that off. So I mean, like you're down to the final stretch of the season. But like, I mean, you're looking at, they've got an article on ESPN, 12 biggest games left to determine the playoff race. And there's the Indiana Fever, two of the first, 3 games I'm looking at here. 2 of the first 3. I mean, New York Liberty, a pretty big part. There's
Atlanta Dream.
Angel Reese with Atlanta Dream against Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, Indiana Fever, 3rd game.
4th.
Atlanta Dream with the Liberty again. Indiana Fever again. Atlanta Dream, New York Liberty, Atlanta Dream, and Indiana are
pretty much in almost all of the games,
right? And when you're looking at the standings, especially in the Eastern Conference, I mean, you're in a position, right, where your top 3 teams in the East are separated by no more than 2.5 games, and it's Indiana, Atlanta, and New York. So you could see that completely flip, and New York goes to the 1, and Indiana falls to the 3. I mean, but let's not knock the Mystics, right, out in Washington. There are only 3 games back of Indiana. So your top 4 teams in the East are pretty jumbled up. So it should be a hell of a little stretch. And hopefully, again, right, we've said it countless times at this point. The WNBA needs to make sure the referees are calling this game the right way, and the women that are playing in these games play the game the right way, because these types of scenarios are the things that draw viewership. These types of scenarios are the things that get you from, I've got to go out of my way to watch a WNBA game, to I'm out at my local bar on a Saturday night and the WNBA game is on the television, right? And there's people paying attention to it. Like, that's the opportunity they have. They have to take advantage of it. And if they don't, you're going to have another year where you're losing revenue and the NBA is supplementing it for you. But if you do, you get to a point where you got to believe that their long-term goal is to be able to operate independently from the NBA. You've got to believe that, at least to some extent. So they've got to take advantage of this stuff. It's like, to me, right? Like,
when they get to the playoffs, all the other bullshit has to drop, and it has to be about the game.
Yes, 100%. And they have that opportunity, they've got to take advantage of it. They've got big names. Even their, Aja Wilson, who's one of the, more tenured players in the league.
What, now 2 or 3 times in a row?
2 in a row, yeah. And I think she's won it 3 times total. Like, the woman is amazing at the game of basketball.
Phenomenal.
Like, focus on this. Like, you should be praying you get her versus Caitlin Clark. Like these are the things you want to see. Like, take advantage of this stuff. I'm not saying rig the game so that you get it, but call the game the right way. Make sure these women are playing the game the right way, so that we're all in a position that we can actually say, this is entertaining to watch, not Bush League or dirty or what are we doing, right? Like, that's the last thing you need.
Well, speaking of Bush League, and I think this is a good transition to To our next topic here. What do you think? So
oh my God,
our next topic.
I'm so amped up for football.
Are you though? Because I know one guy who's a little upset with football right now, or at least a little upset with the way he thinks he's being treated with football right now. He thinks he has a certain ownership over a certain number, and nobody else can have this number.
Oh, you're gonna get me on this one. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You have not heard about Jaden Daniels yet?
Oh,
You have not. How have you not heard about this?
Oh, the running jokes were so great.
Apparently, nobody else can wear the number 5 but Jaden Daniels.
Have you seen some of the jokes?
Oh, dude, they're hysterical.
Like the
Maroon 5, he sued Maroon 5. Now they just have to be Maroon. And
the Jackson 5 are debating whether they should be the Jackson 4 or the Jackson 6.
Oh, but I mean, how stupid do you have to be? I mean, did you really think you were going to hold the school hostage? Now, granted, he won a Heisman, but he didn't win a national championship. By the way, Joe Burrow's number isn't retired, and that man went undefeated for the school. He was Joe Cool. He is the man. I'm sorry, over Jaden Daniels. He is the man more than Jaden Daniels, and they didn't retire his number. So for Jaden Daniels to get bent out of shape because a new coach came in, Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin said, well, my recruit wants number 5. I'm giving him number 5. And has no ties to you. You think that the school should jump in and be like, no. No one else can wear this number but Jaden Daniels. I'm sorry, dude. You're not that special yet. You're not. You're not even that special in the NFL yet. You won a Heisman. Great. You had a great year with LSU. Good for you. You didn't win a national championship. So far in the NFL, you had a great rookie year. Outside of that rookie year, you haven't done anything. You got hurt. You've been injury prone.
I mean,
year 2 was not the same.
In his 7 games last year, they were 2-5. His QBR was 44.7.
Not good.
No.
So how about you worry about what you're doing on the field first before you worry about if they're retiring your number at the school you went to?
Well, I know
you should be worried about your number retiring with the Commanders.
Well, I also know
more than you should worry about it with LSU.
I know part of his beef too, though, is that like part of his whole deal was that like he was allowing them to use his likeness for marketing and promotions and stuff as long as the number 5 wasn't touched. Like I know that was part of what he was.
Yeah, so if they said, "Hey, guess what? We're not going to use you in marketing anymore." And we're going to give the number to this kid.
Yeah, like that's what I heard was they still wanted to use him, but they were going to give the number 5, and that's where he got pissed. I didn't like read into all
Regardless,
this or anything.
It's silly to threaten the school,
and you should have more important things on your mind,
especially with a QBR of 44 last year,
and
so
a 2-5 record as a starter.
Is this a distraction that's going to end up hurting the Commanders? Because I think that this now firmly puts the Commanders in 4th place in the division. As I look at it, I think his teammates are laughing at him. I think he clearly didn't play well enough last year to have the super respect in the locker room that he's going to need. He's got one of the older rosters in the NFL, or they were last year anyway. I'm not sure if they got younger this offseason.
Well, he sent the letter on August 5th, too. That's just hysterical.
But it's just, it's tone deaf, and whoever's around him advising him that these are good ideas should have their head examined. He's got to look around and really evaluate the people around him if this is the advice he's getting.
Yeah, see, this is where I'm completely on your side, right? Like, this quote is a joke. The Daniels family is deeply disappointed and feels profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jaden's number to another player. The statement from Daniels' spokesperson. Jaden and his family had every reason to believe that his number would remain a meaningful part of his LSU legacy and would be honored and protected in recognition of his extraordinary contributions to the university. And to your point, right? You won a Heisman,
which is an individual
award.
You didn't contribute anything to their cabinet.
Yeah, like you didn't like profoundly disrespected, like
because the new 5-star recruit came in and he wanted number 5. Like, I'm sorry, college football, you don't retire numbers. You can't. You get new kids in every year. How the hell can you start retiring numbers for real? You can't. Like I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not something that is really done too much in like football, like in college football, I should say. And again, statements like that just make him sound ignorant, makes him sound stupid, make him sound like he's just out of touch with reality. Because, dude, what are you complaining about?
Yeah, this seems like such a very unnecessary hill to die on.
Yeah.
Like, and again, right? Like, even if you feel like you did so much for the school, the community, the program, you know, like beyond the field, right? Even if you feel like you did all of that, like, it, like, to me, like, you're one of your jobs is you're laying down the foundation, the groundwork, you're laying things down for those that come after you, right? Like Michael Jordan always used to say, right? The things I did was to help those that were going to come after me, just like what Magic and Larry did to help me, and what Kareem and Wilt did to help that. Like, it's a pass the torch thing. You don't own the game. The game is going to live on well before after you're gone, and it was here well before you were even a thought in your parents' eyes. Right? Like, college football was played before your dad was born, right? Like,
oh yeah.
So it goes back, right? Like, they don't owe you anything. And if the fan base wants to say, hey, no, the only number 5 jersey I'm going to wear is Jaden Daniels, well, that's the fans' choice. They can do whatever the hell they want, right?
Yep.
They're paying the money for it. But I think Kiffin makes a really good point, right? Like, he made no promises, nor was he part of the group of people that might have made promises to Jaden Daniels. So the promise he made was to the kid that they're giving number 5 to. That's who he made a promise to. And, you know, I hate how college football is with their coaches. And, like, they all hate the transfer portal, but a head coach can sign a deal and 1 year later just bounce, even though he recruited all these kids and just, oh, I'm sorry, I'm leaving you hanging. I got something better over there. Peace out. Like, I hate that. So if Kiffin's going to come in and say, hey, I promised this kid something, and I'm going to honor that promise, like, those are the things you don't really see very often out of a college coach. And we all know Kiffin's track record, the good and the bad. So I think he has every right to say, no, I made this kid a promise. We're going to give him the number, and the school has every right to say, no, we want this kid on our team because he's going to help our program. Just like you did, Jaden. He just plays a different position, but he's going to help our program.
I think he plays the same position, doesn't he? Isn't he a quarterback?
It said corner.
Oh, okay, corner.
Yeah, number 2. He was the number 2 cornerback in the class of 2025.
Oh, okay.
So,
but even still, regardless, it's to feel profoundly disrespected is a bit ridiculous.
That is the definition of overboard to me. I am profoundly shocked that you feel profoundly disrespected.
Right? Exactly.
Like that is mind-blowing to me because, again, to your point, yes, you won the Heisman. You had an amazing final season with us, and whoever the hell was here before Kiffin walked through the doors and his team and his staff came through those doors, your number wasn't touched. We kept our word to you, but it's a new regime, and they are not held to the promises made by those that came before them. They're not held to it. They didn't sign no contract. They didn't sign any piece of paper. And I'll tell you right now, if the people before Kiffin that made this promise did sign a contract, then this would be in court. This wouldn't just be some, bullshit, battle in the media. There was, as far as I know, there was no paperwork signed. There was no contract signed. There was no promise.
He's going to burn this bridge back to the school. And if his NFL career doesn't pan out the way he wants it to, he's going to have no legacy left, because if the school doesn't embrace him back, then guess what? What do you got? Nothing. Where you're not going to alumni stuff. You won't be going to other things. The Commanders, if you don't work out there, it's not going to, they're not bringing you back for anything if you fail at you don't get re-signed for a second. So there's a lot that he could be doing right now with this one little stupid decision that could affect his entire career and
life after.
Personality after, or not personality, but
persona, perception,
exactly.
Yeah, mentioning the Commanders aspect of it, right? RG3 was loved
Oh yeah.
by those fans, loved by that organization. When his knee was done,
Done.
did you ever see him go back to Washington?
Nope.
I mean, he might have. I don't remember it. I don't remember seeing anything that was a big deal about it. Maybe a recognition of his, his anniversary of winning Rookie of the Year or something. Maybe as an ESPN analyst for like a Monday night game or something. But like, this is the NFL. Your shelf life is as long as you can be productive and help the team win. Like, if he stays healthy but continues to be an under 500 quarterback like he was last year for the 7 games he did play, he'll be out the door and forgotten in a heartbeat. They won't give a crap you got him to the NFC Championship game. Because look at him now. Now, every Washington fan, they're not sitting there saying to themselves, well, no, we're good this year because Jaden, when he was fully healthy and played the full season, we got to the NFC Championship game. They're all sitting there saying, well, in the 7 games you played for us, we were 2-5, and then you were injured and kept getting injured, and you couldn't stay healthy all season long. What are you going to do for us this year? Because that's what we care about. That's it. This is the NFL. Like, this is there is no room for failure here. You could have a little bit of a down year, but you better have some consistency of good years for that to be acceptable.
Yeah.
And you will be replaced in a heartbeat. You're still on your rookie contract. They could go sign a veteran if they want to, if they don't trust you. And they've got the cap space to do it because you're on your rookie contract. He's getting
franchise tagged. I'm telling you right now. They're not signing him to a big deal
this is
without
only going to be his 3rd year. So,
yeah, so I mean one more year after this.
And they'll do the 5th year option. That's an easy, so that they've got him for 3 more years. And after that 5th year, if you're not performing, why even franchise tag you? Go somewhere else. We'll nosedive a season and we'll go find our next guy.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not
the
wrong.
NFL, they'll kick quarterbacks to the curb in a heartbeat. Like, they don't care. I mean, the Cleveland Browns are a bad example.
Well, let's get on to that. So, but this was our
knuckleheaded news of the week.
So, transferring out of that knuckleheaded news of Jaden Daniels, so let's get to the Brownies. Because they seem to have named a starting quarterback in Mr. Massage himself, Deshaun Watson. Seems to be the guy that's going to get all the first team reps now. I mean, what does this do for Cleveland? Because you still have Gabriel, you still got Shador, you still got like way too many cooks in the kitchen. And to be honest, nobody's really got faith in Deshaun Watson other than the fact that he's making so much money that you just want to see him on the field because otherwise the money's on the bench. I don't know what the Browns are doing here, trying to kick the tires still on Deshaun Watson. I really thought that they were going to give a
This is from today. They haven't actually named a starter.
He unofficially named.
Oh, like in their first unofficial depth chart or whatever?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I mean, look.
Are you going with a young kid or are you going Deshaun? That's my question to you. Because I'm looking at it as I don't think Deshaun gets you any further than those kids do. So why not see what you have and just cut your losses with Deshaun? Because he has never been the same player he was the first 2 or 3 years down there with Houston.
Yeah.
He's never been that same quarterback since. He's never even flashed that really with the Browns.
Yeah, because when you look at the Browns roster itself, they've got some pretty talented players on their team. Like, when you remove the quarterback room and look at the rest of the Browns roster, you basically say if you put a really good quarterback on that team, they're fighting for the division. I personally think I'd rather go with a young guy and see what I have, because you know what Watson is by now, right? Like,
you know it.
It was a flash in the pan in Houston. He gave them 2 really good years, and other than that, okay, right? Like at like his rookie year and his second year, and then he kind of just fizzled out, right? So you really kind of know what you have in him, and one of his biggest factors or selling points was his mobility. Well, guess what? As we get older, we get less mobile. Me and you know that, right? Every person that listens to us or follows us or hell, is just friends with us. All know that, right? Like, so it's not like he's getting more athletic. He really struggles with seeing the field now. He's not overly consistent. To me, I'm looking at Sanders and saying, hey, you know what? We saw what you did in Colorado. We know you've got the confidence in yourself. Let's go. Let's see what you can do. Like, I mean, at the bare minimum, I'm having Watson on the shortest leash possible. Like, I'm giving you, like, we talk about how usually, like, nowadays, really the first 3 or 4 games is like the real preseason, right? You get the first quarter of the season. We'll give you 4 games. If you're 500 or less, go, right? Or if you're playing out of your mind and everything else is shit in the bed, then we'll let you keep playing, right? I think the thing for the Browns, especially from a general manager and ownership standpoint, is like, we gave up so much for this guy. We've got to try and make it work. It's like I bought a square peg for a circle hole. I've got a circle peg right here, but I'm going to keep trying to jam that square peg in there because this square peg cost me a lot. Right? Like, that's the only, like, I don't know how. A lot of
guaranteed money, too. Which is stupid.
Oh, my God. Like, so it's, if I'm making the choice, I'm going with one of the young guys. I'm saying, hey, you guys got these next 2 preseason games. You're running with the ones for the first quarter. You're running with the ones in the first quarter of the next game. And then I'm keeping you both in with the 2s for each game. And whichever one between those 2 games impresses me the most, that's who I'm going with, right? I would probably go with Sanders because Sanders will put more asses in the stands. Right, so if I'm going to lose games, I'd rather at least try and make some money. Because no matter how mean you might feel about him, there are a lot of people out there that still think he got a shit end of the stick and it was colluded to make him drop in the draft and it was all this different, like, the tinfoil hat.
Put my tinfoil hat on because I 100% agree with him that the teams looked at it and said, well, I'm not drafting him. You drafting him? And they all were like, we ain't drafting him right now. And let it go till day 3 before they picked him or whatever it was, round 5, I think, right? Or
yeah,
something
so
like
day
that.
3, yeah, right? Yeah, day 3.
So, I mean, like, I just see that that's kind of the way it went in my mind is like, yeah, I 100% agree with anybody who has that feeling on Shedeur that there was some conspiracy to knock his draft stock down and you know, take him off his, you know, high horse a little bit. But at the same point, I 100% agree with you. I would be giving the kids a chance. Let's see what you got. Because guess what? If you don't, and you played Deshaun this year, and the team still sucks, then you go into next year still not knowing what you have with Shedeur and Gabriel. And now they're going into year 3. Yeah. And if you're going into year 3 and you don't know what you have, then you really don't have anything.
And like they always say, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
And if you have 3, then you just have then you fire your GM. Yeah, then fire your GM and because you have no direction. 100%, you have no direction if that's what you're doing. So we're simpatico there. That's where we get. Let's keep kicking around the horn. What else have you heard? What else you want to bring up from preseason? Because
one of the biggest things that has stuck out to me, especially over the last couple years, and we kind of slightly touched on this last week. You know, a lot of these teams are no longer playing starters, you know, during the preseason games, and instead they're relying heavily on these joint practices because they're a little more physical than when you practice against your teammates. I still think players should play in the preseason. I genuinely believe. I don't care. Give me a series, right? Like, it's a 3-game preseason. Game 1, give me 1 series. Game 2, give me a quarter. Game 3, give me a half. Something, right? Because
and I'm glad you're bringing this up, by the way.
All right, good. I'm always happy to make you happy, my friend. But like, so like, I'm watching the joint practice between the Cowboys and Saints, right? Kamara ends up straining his knee. Now he's going to be out for a little bit, right? The rookie Tyson or whatever he is, he ends up getting hurt. It wasn't during the joint practice, but he ends up getting hurt. Guys are going to get hurt.
Absolutely.
It is literally part of the game. And Aaron Glenn, I can't believe I'm going to give him credit for saying something that I genuinely agree with. But he came out and he said, yes, my starters are going to play. I'm not scared of injuries. Because the reality is, Injuries are part of this game, and there are guys. Tom Brady is the easiest one to think about. If an injury doesn't happen to Drew Bledsoe, does Tom Brady ever touch a football field?
Probably not.
In his
Sixth round draft pick
in his first couple years in the league. And if that's the case, does he go on to do any of the things he ever did, right? Injuries suck, but they also can open a door for a guy that without that injury may never have gotten a true opportunity. I think it's on them to still go out there and earn it, right? You still got to show yourself, whether it's special teams and
I got to look it up. I'm not sure if it was Mantle or somebody else, but somebody else got their job that way. That a guy stepped on I think it was a sprinkler or something, hurt his knee. I think he came up and then never lost the job.
Dak Prescott was not drafted to start his rookie year. He was drafted to develop behind Romo for at least a year or two. Romo breaks his collarbone in the third preseason game. Prescott goes on to win Rookie of the Year.
I told you Prescott was going to be your guy, though.
Oh, I know. But, like, when he was drafted, like, to me, I was like, yeah, I'd love for him to maybe take a snap in a regular season game when we're up by 40 or in, like, 3 years. Not start. And if he didn't start, Dallas wouldn't have had what was one of the most exciting regular seasons I ever got to watch until we had to lose to Aaron Rodgers. But he still went toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers in a divisional round playoff game, losing 34-31. Like, injuries suck, and you hate to see them happen, but they are a part of the game. And these joint practices, to me, are basically saying, okay, well, in a regular practice with just our team, maybe we're going half speed. In a joint practice, maybe we're going 3/4 speed, right? That's still not truly getting you ready for the regular season. Put them out there. Let them get hit. If they get hurt, they get hurt. It's part of the game. It sucks. And I don't want to see anybody get hurt. On my team, on your team,
but this is where I like Harbaugh. And this is where I like what the Giants have changed. Because they actually played Jackson Dart, and they got criticized immensely for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dart got hit. Because Tyrone Tracy missed the block.
I heard it. Yeah, and now he's on the trade. Now he's on the trade block.
Yeah. Well, they signed Najee Harris yesterday to a 1-year deal. So yeah,
Harbaugh was like, "You ain't missing blocks for my franchise quarterback."
So, but the fact that like he laid on the ground for a couple seconds, immediately they sent him to the blue tent. Now, by the way, Jackson Dart is undefeated in the blue tent. Thankfully, it's like 6-0 against the blue tent.
I'll even knock on the wood for you on that one.
But it was the fact that I like that Harbaugh put them in. I like that we at least got a series. I think Scatterboo looked good. I think the run game looked good. I thought they did some good things. I think the fact that Dart got knocked out, was able to come back in and the next play throw a touchdown to Malachi Fields, which is a great play. All positive things. But again, getting those reps in an actual game, it matters. Get him those reps early. And that's the one thing Harbaugh's always believed in. Now, the Giants lost the game 13-10, but it doesn't matter. I don't care about winning or losing.
Winning or losing in preseason does not matter.
It's about
though it did
getting
ruin his streak,
right.
you told me about last
well,
week.
I don't know if the streak was continuous. I know that was a streak he had of 24 straight. I don't know if that continued to where he was with the Giants here.
Carrying into with the Giants.
No, because I think 24, so that would be what? A year for 6 years probably. So it would be like 6-year stretch out of his 18-year stretch there with Baltimore.
Oh, well, hold on. I'm getting a FaceTime from the wife. So
okay.
I'm hoping everything's okay. Oh, it's my little Peanut. Hi, baby girl.
Say hi, Dada.
Hi, Peanut.
Say hi, Erich.
Hi.
She's like, who's that guy? Yeah, you haven't seen him since the wedding. I know. We're about to wrap up, babe. We're a couple minutes out.
Okay.
But thanks for calling. I'll be home in time to get her down.
Okay.
All right, love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Hey.
Bye.
Hello, world. That's my little Peanut. Yeah, I've just put her on camera for YouTube to see. Hi, baby girl. You're so cute eating your mashed potatoes. All right, I'll get too caught up with her. Sorry. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry about that. I'm not like
cuteness break.
Yeah,
okay, we can take them every now and then.
But anyway, so right, like you said, the win-loss is not what matters.
No,
right? It matters. Jackson Dart getting hit in a game matters. You get it off. Be done with it, right? Like,
and also know who's going to miss those blocks so they could get off the field, because You can't miss blocks. Like,
No.
the one thing you can't do is miss that assignment. If that's your assignment, there is no, oh, my bad. Like, no. You're putting the whole franchise at risk missing that block. And you, sir, need to do better.
Yeah, this
so
isn't a
here's
punt
Najee
return or
Harris
field- yeah.
to put the pressure on you to either step up or step out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and so like I bring it up because Schottenheimer came out and said that the starters are not going to play during the preseason.
But I'll be honest, this is what I love compared to what Harbaugh's bringing compared to what he's bringing.
I could not agree more. Like I said, I don't need a whole game.
No,
Right?
quarter.
I do not.
Not even a quarter, to be honest. In the first preseason game, give me a series. One series.
One series.
Give me one good drive.
One series. If the series looks like shit, you're getting the hell back out there,
Yeah,
right?
if it's a 3 and out, you're going out for a second.
But okay, we got 2 series in. The 2 series didn't go well, but now we've got, let's say both series are 3 and out. I at least got 6 plays that we
Of
can
tape.
literally dissect and say, where'd we go wrong, right? Why did these turn into 3 and outs,
Exactly.
right? And then your second game, give me a quarter. Third game, give me a half. We're done, right? And I understand wanting to evaluate the back end of your roster because the back end of your roster really can be the difference in what you turn into.
But to me, that's
through
week
the
4
year.
of the preseason. That's what you got. That's where you say starters, you take a rest, get yourself ready for the regular season because you've already shown me by giving me, like you said, progressively a little bit more in each of the first 3. Let us see what we got to do to fill out the rest of the 53. Those guys are playing the last preseason game, and I get that.
That's where I think they made a mistake getting rid of the 4th preseason, even with the 17-game season.
Yep.
To me, if anything, what the players' union should have did is say, okay, we'll give you the 17th game, but instead of losing the 4th preseason game, this is what we want. 4th preseason game, strictly, it is guys trying to make a team, right? Because the other thing people forget too is a lot of the guys that are playing it towards the end of a preseason game, they're not just auditioning to make that roster. They're auditioning for all 32 teams in the league to have a chance to be on an NFL roster or practice squad for the season. And it's it's if you're not going to play your starters, okay, now you're giving those guys a better chance to get their name and their tape out there. But you're putting your starters in a position where their first real live game action, where they can get hit or they can hit somebody with no remorse and no concern with getting taken out of practice or yelled at by the coach isn't until week 1. So, for example, right, talking about our 2 teams in specific, completely different philosophies. I guarantee you when they meet in week 1 on Sunday night, and both of me and you are pissed that we've waited that long for our teams to play, I guarantee the Giants are the first ones to land a punch. I get whether it's a sack or forcing a punt.
I don't care. Hot
straight-
take. I think the Giants are taking week 1, and I think they're just going to be more prepared. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. They'll have more time playing with each other. They've had a couple series. I think the offense will look a little bit better. I think the Giants are going to steal week 1. I think that they could end up splitting the season series. I'm not saying that the Giants are going to be some juggernaut, but I just think they get to steal week 1, and it's mainly because of the difference in the 2 philosophies.
And when we sit here the Tuesday after week 1, and if the Giants do win that game, we're going to reference this conversation because I'm going to sit here and be like, you were effing right. Like, because that is the reality of it. You are preparing your team for a 17-game freaking marathon that is mentally and physically taxing.
Yes.
You've got to mentally and physically prepare them for that, and you can't do it in shorts and T-shirts in practice. You can't do it with, what do they get, like 6 or 8 padded practices throughout all of training camp.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do it with a joint practice with another team where you're not even allowed to knock a guy to the ground. The only guys that really get anything out of those joint practices are the trenches. Your offensive linemen and your defensive linemen are really the only guys that truly get to play like it's a real game because they can't. There's not enough room to build up the speed to knock your opponent to the ground. Now, occasionally you can do it if you get the right leverage. But overall, they're the only ones that get any real level of like, hey, this is pretty much what it's going to be like in a game. The wide receivers, the quarterbacks, the running back. I mean, as a running back, If you run through a hole and the linebacker's coming flying at you, they've got to basically run at you full speed so that the coach sees it on tape that you know what gap you've got to go fill. But at the same time, as soon as you see the guy, you got to pull up and just, like, you see it all the time. That doesn't prepare you for the real game. And it's beyond frustrating to me. As you can tell, I hate the philosophy of it. I think it's an ignorant philosophy. And a lot of coaches look at it as protecting their star players. I look at it as you're basically putting them at a disadvantage going into the games that actually matter, because whoever they're playing against that actually played in these games are going to be more mentally and physically prepared for what's happening. It's you can't match the game speed, the intent. You can't do it in practice.
Speaking of mentally and physically prepared, just to keep us rolling here and keep us going, what are the chances, and switching teams even too here, could get us off our teams, but LA Rams, Aaron Donald keeps working out with them.
And keeps showing up
and you're talking about being mentally and physically ready. As a guy who has now been retired, clearly kept himself in phenomenal shape. But can you step away from the game? And if he comes back, I mean, granted, I don't think you could expect him to be 100% of what Aaron Donald was before.
No.
But do you get 80, 75%? Is that enough? Do you want that? Like, the more he keeps hanging around the facility, training, doing these things, the more, to me, it seems likely he's going to strap it back up to try to go opposite Myles Garrett and try to win one more.
I mean, first and foremost, my guesses so far with the city of LA and big name players in LA have been completely wrong. And
hi, Butterbean.
We do have to
Butterbean, Butterbean.
You know what? Let's put it on record now. I think next week is a good week to do it because you'll still be kind of recovering. Mm-hmm. So you might not have the full oomph behind you, but you can still do it and
all right.
give you. Or if you want to wait one more week so you're a little more comfortable letting yourself laugh about it, I'll agree to that. So over the next 2 weeks, I'll let you choose. Just give me the heads up.
We'll get the Butterbean slap.
I don't want to sit down and be looking and getting the show set up, and all of a sudden I see in the camera you winding up. So just give me a little bit of a heads up.
Oh yeah.
But I will say this: I think a freak athlete like Aaron Donald, you're going to start the season with him, right? You're going to put him in sub packages, right? Maybe 10, 15 snaps for the first couple weeks. As the season starts to wear on. Now we're looking 20, 25 snaps. They don't want Aaron Donald for the first 6-8 games. They want Aaron Donald for November, December, and January. And, well, now February, right? That they want Aaron Donald for them. So I think I think he's coming back. I think it's a slow ramp up. I think they take their time with it. They're making sure that they keep him healthy. And they set him up so that he's playing his best. Maybe still not 100% of the Aaron Donald we knew. But 80, 85% of Aaron Donald is probably still better than over half the interior linemen in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
That man, and the other thing, too, you got to remember, I'll never forget. Did you ever watch a training video where he's training with a guy that's actually holding a knife?
No.
It's insane. He trains his hands with a guy holding an actual knife trying to cut him. And he does like his, the karate, kung fu blocks and moving his arms and all that stuff. The guy holds a legitimate actual knife. Like, I'm not talking like some,
but still, enough to stab.
Down under, knife or anything like that. But I'm talking a little switchblade, something that, like, if it gets you, it ain't going to feel good.
Yeah.
And that's how he practiced all his hand movements, because it forced him to stay focused on what he was doing and not kind of half-ass it with the little dummy and just slapping the dummy. That's how serious he took his hands. That's something, it'll get a little slower as you get older. But if you continue to train that, like your hand, that takes a while to lose. Like that's something that is just.
Yeah, but don't you think that there's a little bit of, especially for the teams that they're playing,
you just tell people
a little bit doing the show. A little bit of a competitive edge where the offensive linemen that they're going up against are like, this guy was retired. Do you think he's just going to step back in here and dominate us? Like, I feel like there's got to be a little bit of arrogance for some of these younger guys that have come in and, like, I don't know why this guy thinks he's just going to step in and dominate. Like, you know, and so, I mean, but listen, he is a freak. He is a freak.
I see
so,
both
I
sides.
mean,
Like,
he is great.
Like, I don't think you should be thinking that you can just step in and dominate, but simultaneously, like, I watched you play for all those years, and you're amazing at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think it's the same Aaron Donald from 4 years ago or however long, because he still hasn't qualified for the Hall of Fame, so it's under 5 years. I know that.
Yeah, no, he would have if I think it was like 1 or 2 more years or something.
So,
but this restarts the clock.
So, like
Philip Rivers.
80 to 90% of Aaron Donald is still better than probably over half the interior defensive linemen in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
If you're the Rams and you're a Rams fan, like, please, come
I don't
join.
think that this, though, and again, I've said it, I don't think the Rams are winning a Super Bowl. Now, maybe I am completely wrong, and I might be. It's just too much. I think between Stafford, you're asking him and his back to hold up for another season. You bring in Myles Garrett, who's coming off of what was the greatest defensive season. So is the chances he's going to repeat that and that sack record again? Probably not. And you're putting a lot of eggs in your basket with Puka, who seems like a bit of a head case.
And
now with Aaron Donald, it's like there's a lot of like, yeah, if it all comes together, they could be great.
Oh yeah.
But there's so many ifs there that I can't imagine that all those ifs come to fruition.
I will say this because I do gotta get moving. So I will say this to kind of put my final thoughts on this. The one thing that we know is the team that's usually the paper champion in the offseason never ends up the actual champion hoisting the Lombardi trophy at the end of the season. So, like, I always think back to that Eagles team. Remember when they went and signed Nnamdi Asomugha, and they had, the list of players that they had on that team was just insane.
Crazy.
They barely made the playoffs and got eliminated in the first round. Like, just because you're a paper champion does not mean anything at all. And look, they went and drafted that quarterback at 13 or whatever it was. I'm sorry.
Ty Simpson at Alabama.
You can't tell me if Stafford goes down, you think that guy's going to be able to do enough to carry them the rest of the way, right? So you're relying heavily on a late 30-year-old quarterback to stay healthy all season. Like you said with Puka, you got Devontae Adams on the other side, who is still one of the best route running wide receivers in the league, but every year that goes by, teams are less and less scared of him being able to take the top off and go pass you down the field, which means, okay, we can...
I'm more scared of his antics and nonsense, like, off the field.
Puka?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more scared of, like, what's going on in his head, man. Like, let's get you, like, straight down here. Football. Like, I need you on the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, yeah, so that's really the most I have for you this week. Just wanted to touch on a bunch of different things. I know you're not a big baseball guy, but I'm going to throw it out there. The kid George Lombard from the Yankees looks like the real deal.
Did I see it correctly? The Yankees have the #1 ERA, but the 31st off batting average right now.
Yeah, they're awful at hitting.
Like that makes me think of the Cowboys from last year. Like, oh, here's this amazing aspect of our team.
But I'm thankful that the amazing aspect of the team has carried the team.
Yeah.
Has made them a much better team because thankfully when we've been rolling out Garrett Cole and freed up until he just went back on the IL and Schlittler, who's a Cy Young candidate, these guys are giving up 1 or 2 runs a game. So thankfully the Yankees haven't needed many runs to score, but they've averaged less than 3 runs a game for like 60 games now.
Yeah, defense wins championships, baby. And
the kid George Lombard's got a gun. He's got wins above replacement average as far as like defensive metrics go. He's like 4th or 5th on the list of like defensive runs saved, and he's played 12 games. He has like 8 defensive runs saved. The leader has like 14. They played 102 games.
Yeah, it's a big.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
it's a big difference.
Like he's already like number 6 on the list for the year, and he's only played 12 games.
Yeah, that's impressive as hell.
Defensively, yeah.
And
so
I saw
just wanted to throw it out.
The Mets have won like 10 out of their last 12.
They've been getting hot, but to be honest, they were so far back.
Yeah, that's why like all the beat writers I like from the Mets that I follow, they're all like, yeah, Mets won again, but it a little just too late. Like none of that. Like they're all basically saying like
because they can't.
And then with the Phillies and the Braves being what
them.
they are, like there's nothing they can do. So.
Don't care how many they win in a row at this point.
If it helps make our buddy Mike, shout out to Mike, a little happier to end the season, like because that's the thing, right? Like you always want to say, like if your team's going to completely shit the bed and suck, but they finished the year at least strong, you're like, okay, maybe we can ride that into next year, right? Like it
well,
just
that's
gives you
what the
a little
Mets
bit of
fans
hope.
have to take positive out of this is that it seems like for now they've smoothed out whatever those issues were with Lindor and Soto. It seems like they've smoothed those team issues, locker room issues out, and that gives you positive hope for the future because a happy locker room, a positive locker room is usually a locker room that plays better.
Yeah.
So
And look,
and that goes across all sports. So to tie it back to everything we talked about, whether it's Angel Reese, whether it's Caitlin Clark, whether it's
the Giants, Cowboys.
anybody, a happy locker room is a better locker room.
Yeah.
Less turmoil in the locker room it just makes for a better experience for everybody, and it helps the season run smoother. When you start having little issues, whether it be like Jaden Daniels, you don't think of that as a big issue, just turn everything full circle, but that's a huge issue because it makes him look silly. It takes a distraction that now the media is going to be asking about. They're going to be asking the team. His teammates don't give a shit about his number getting retired. But the fact that it causes that kind of distraction, now his teammates look at him and they go, "Man, come on, why'd you have to do that?
Yeah.
Like, why'd you have to like?" And it just causes that little bit of a rift that may trickle into a season, and that's what you always try to avoid if you can. So, yeah. That's us for this week, my friend. Thank you to everybody out there who joined us.
One more show before our fantasy draft.
Yeah, which, by the way, I can't get a fourth rounder, so it is what it is. But everyone's holding me hostage for a first rounder. It is what it is. But I just
first round.
They want one of the first two, one of my first two. Because I have 2 first round picks, so that everybody wants one. But to be honest, like I'm trading a first for a fourth. Like I can't do that straight up. And a lot of people are like, "Oh well, what if we do a pick swap here or whatever?" And some of it sounds all right, but to be honest, all I really need is a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to trade for one. Nobody wants to give me a 4th round pick. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And this brings me to something I'm going to ask you right now because I was going to ask you off air anyway. If there's a guy that I could keep with a 4th round pick, but I don't have a 4th round pick, but I have a 3rd round pick, can I just use a 3rd round pick to keep him?
Yeah.
All right, then it's done. Then I don't need to make a trade with anybody.
Yeah.
So then everybody, I'm keeping my 2 first round picks. I'm not making a trade.
Yeah, that's the sacrificial part. Is like, well, if I can't use the pick that I wanted, like that I would use.
Well, that's just it. Is if everyone's going to hold me hostage and make me overpay to get a 4th round pick, then I'm not going to overpay, and I'll overpay on the 3rd round because, to be honest, I think Krosky Merritt is going to be. They're talking about him as a 3-down back there with Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Had over 800 yards as a rookie. Got better as the season went on. I'll use the 3rd round pick on him. To be honest, I'm keeping Cam. I'm keeping Scat, and I'm keeping R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey's getting kept with a 2nd. Krosky Merritt will get kept with a 3rd, and Cam's getting kept with a 6th. And there you go. And then I got 2 first round picks.
So you get your wide receivers.
There you go. And then round 5, I pick up tight end, quarterback, something else.
Yeah,
I roll from there. And then I'll have I'll have at least 3 stud running backs, 1 for the flex, 2 for the starting position, and all starters on their teams with full control because R.J. Harvey's clearly the number 1 there. Scat's clear number 1 in New York, and I'll take a clear number 1 with Krosky Merritt.
I got too many wide receivers that I gotta figure out who I want to keep. So I'm just.
So that's why I was offering up JMO to people because I would have needed another 6 to keep JMO because I'm keeping Scat with a 6th. So I couldn't keep them both obviously with a 6. So I'm going to keep Scat, but. JMO, I was looking to trade because I'm like, somebody's got to want him for a 6th round pick.
Yeah,
like he's worth more than that.
I think most people are figuring that they could get him right around what they would trade to you anyway. So they're just like,
But again, if he's there in the 5th, I may just take him in the 5th. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you may not get him anyway. That's why people are trying to like wait me out to see if they get him.
That's what I do like about this league. It's just like it forces you to think beyond simply every player is available. I pick here.
Yeah,
I'll make the best team I can. Like,
dude, I'm shooting for a title this year because with 2 first round picks and keeping those 3 stud running backs, I should have a really tough roster. Like I should have
yeah.
a roster that's competing every week with anybody I go up
Yeah,
against.
and you're gonna be able to get 2 good wide receivers. I mean, or based off of how the draft falls, if you want to get froggy, you take like a Josh Allen and a wide receiver.
Exactly. I got
like, you've got
the
a
world
lot,
is my oyster with 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. Fucking.
So that's why, and that's what I needed to confirm. So I'm glad you confirmed that I could use a 3rd-round pick because now guess what?
I am 99% confident.
Because pretty much I'm gonna pick in the 1st round, and then I'm not gonna pick again for another 30 or 40 minutes because I'm keeping RJ, I'm keeping McCroskey Merritt, and I have no 4th-round pick.
So you do your first 2 picks, and then you order dinner. Yeah, and you got plenty of time to sit and eat and just mark names off as they come off the board.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's and then, like I said, and then I pick once, and then and then I'm off again for the 6th, and then I pick one, and then I pick from there on out. But that confirmed it for me. So I actually don't need to make any trades. I'm good the way I am. I'm sending it after we get off the show here that my 3 keepers are Krosky Merritt for a 3rd, RJ Harvey for a 2nd, and now what does that do for next year? Does that mean next year because I used a 3rd on
I think it
Krosky
would be
Merritt?
a 3rd again.
Okay, a 3rd again.
I believe so. Just text Noose one off. Noose has all the rules, and I mean, you can go in our Excel. He has the rules.
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, somewhere.
But like, you just shoot him a quick text and be like, "Hey, Dave told me that since I don't have a 4th, I can keep Krosky Merritt Bill for a 3rd since I don't have a 4th. Just want to confirm that's correct, and then if I want to keep him next year, it would cost me a 3rd again." Like just confirm it with him because I don't want you to send the hey, these are my keepers, and then
well, to be honest with you, they're going to be my keepers anyway, and worry about next year because I don't know if I can keep Harvey next year because Harvey's a 2nd-round pick this year.
Then no, you wouldn't be.
So I'm not going to be able to keep him next year anyway. Yeah. So however it works out with Merritt, I would still at least be able to keep him. So so that answered my question. So guess what? I'm shooting the moon, baby.
You might as well. I mean, like there are some people I know going in this year that are basically hoping they just don't finish in last place. But
I'm shooting the moon, baby. I think 3 second-year
we talked about
running
Baker.
backs.
Like I can keep Baker for 15th.
You should, dude. He's gonna have a good year.
And then I got Ibuka for a 4th.
That's what I mean.
5th.
That's a tandem right there. Why would you not want to keep?
But that's what I was saying. Like why I couldn't make the trade for JMO is like Ibuka is going to cost me either a 4th or a 3rd. Or a 5th or a 4th, and I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to keep him if I'm going to keep Mayfield, and I have Olave who I can keep for like a 7th if I want to, and with the 2 other top ball hawks on that team that would get the ball, both being out to start the season, Olave is probably going to get all the freaking targets. So I kind of want to keep him, but that could screw me at the end of it. You know how it is. Like, so, and this is another hour I could talk to you. I gotta really get moving.
We gotta go. But
thank you, everybody.
My main question was just that, though. So shout out to everybody who joined us. Shout out to Carl. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to everybody. We appreciate anybody and everybody who tunes in for any amount of time. Thank you.
Carl Senior's been interacting with us, so shout out to Carl Senior.
Appreciate him. And yeah, till next time. Follow me at The Living Legend on X. Follow
D Hastings 23 on Instagram. You almost messed me up like you did last week. You mixed them up. And David Hastings 23 on X, formerly known as Twitter. And
Louis Aussie Dude on Instagram, and us everywhere, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. Follow us at Champscast. That's Champs with a Z. Throwing it back to that Sports Zone heritage. We appreciate everybody. Till next time.
Have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. I actually think next week is my Wednesday. I got to double check, so we might go back to back Wednesdays.
Wednesdays it is. Boom.
All right, everybody, be good.